Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand as the colors of our nation are posted by the Cherokee Nation Color Guard.
Right, two, ready, ho. Present, turn. Order, turn. Left, hey. Forward, hard.
Please be seated. The Cherokee National Youth Choir. Thank you. We call upon S. Benny Smith to bring our invocation this morning. He is a Cherokee. He is a member of the Cherokee Nation. He's the grandson of Redbird Smith and the youngest son of Stoke Smith. He was raised in a traditional Katua way of life, and he brings us our invocation today. Thank you. Today is a time of renewal for the Cherokee Nation. It is a time to stoke and rekindle the fire. In this renewal, for the people, for the Tribal Council, for Deputy Chief Joe Grayson, Chief Chad Smith, I have chosen to share an age-old practice of spirituality, of medicine, of language, handed down from our forefathers and mothers. With that, I present
to the Cherokee people, an unblemished feather. This feather is a never-ending strengthening for the Cherokee nation. Could not help but think, as we were standing to our allegiance to our flag, this symbolism here has stood for not only the Cherokee people, but for the Native Americans for as long as most of us could remember, from generation to generation, in the same manner, but probably even more internal. Symbolically, each person charged with representing the Cherokee nation is to adorn this feather as you would carry the flag. It is medicine to guide you spiritually, to direct your thinking in the righteous way, to assist you towards having the highest regard for one another, to lead you to the beauty way of the Cherokee people. I have chosen this because it brings us back to the things that we ought to be and do. Shall we stand and bow our heads? Our Creator, who provides all, we now address before messengers of the cardinal directions and the 710 leaders who represent all mankind, who journey about on this earthly world, where you, our provider, brought all people. We again call upon you and all heavenly messengers. We summon and request you come down and be in the presence of the Cherokee nation. We come to ask for a collective spiritual support. Through the spiritual symbol of this eagle feather, there is medicine that originates from the very uppermost thought. It has now been presented to the Cherokee nation. In the use of this medicine, it is not conceivable to be caught in the underhand pools of evilness. Every breaking of each dawn and the ending each night, in the beginning of another day, the medicine will be ever present, never-ending strengthening for us. With the adornment of the feather and unbeatable banner, do yukta righteousness, udanugalud pureness, God's anosta truthfulness, in ega awodu in of great beauty, be carried by us, the Cherokee nation. Amen. Osio Toyja. Hannah. Welcome to you all. I am Jay Hanna. I am a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and a native of Adair County, and it is my honor and privilege to officiate these inaugural ceremonies here on our Capitol grounds today. It is a good day to be Cherokee. It is a good day to be in Tahlequah. Many of our friends from neighboring nations and throughout the United States have joined us here today. I would name but a few, but they do the respect, for they are representatives of the 5 civilized tribes who have made their homelands here with us in the West.
Today it's my honor to introduce Governor Bill Anatoby of the Chickasaw Nation. Bill. Chief Perry Beaver of the Creek Nation. Jason Campbell represents Chief Greg Pyle of the Choctaw Nation. And the kind lady from Rocky Mountain joins us this morning, former Principal Chief Wilma Mankiller. We're also honored today to have Dr. Renard Strickland, a noted scholar of Indian law and Cherokee history, here with us as well. Good to see you, Doctor. The symbols and icons of our people are all around us every day. It is good that we take time to be still and to look about them and understand their importance in our lives, past and present. The symbolic significances of this ceremony are many. This morning, very early, a cleansing ceremony was conducted by Don Greenfeather and Eddie Secondine. It began today with the traditional cleansing rituals on the grounds of these inaugural celebrations. And it is perhaps best explained in Mr. Smith's spiritual calling address on this occasion in 1999, the inauguration, when he said that this cleansing is to place your uppermost in body, mind, heart, wisdom, spirit, so that you are about doing anything that would uplift the Cherokee people. We are here today in the shadow of our historic capital, Ayele, Gagalawisti, our Capitol building. The significance of holding the inauguration on these grounds here at our Capitol building has a special meaning for all Cherokee people. The Cherokee Capitol is the most sacred symbol of our nation's sovereignty and survival as a people. Our capital was located here in Tahlequah in the early 1800s, and it is good that we come together today to embrace its warmth, its shadow, and its history. Today, an empty chair is placed upon this stage. It's draped with the flag of our nation in remembrance of our ancestors and our responsibilities to the future. The Eagle Tail Feather Fan Ceremony, which will be brought later this morning. Ugawi Yuhi, our chief, will be invested with the power of that fan ceremony. The fan is the symbol of authority. The Eagle Tail Feather Fan presented to the Principal Chief on this historic occasion represents the passing responsibility from one outgoing administration to the new. It serves as a reminder of the sacred responsibility of the nation and the people. This morning, pine saplings will be shared with those who are here today. In 1998, a very old pine tree growing on the south side of our Capitol Square was slowly dying. During the 1999 inaugural ceremonies, Principal Chief Chad Smith invited former Principal Chiefs and others to join him in planting a pine tree sapling in the exact location where the old pine tree had stood and where it had died, as a symbol of renewal and unity, growth, and peace within the Cherokee Nation. The mulch in which that tree was planted contained the ashes from the burning of that dead pine tree. Water, which had been carried from the Qualla boundary, was poured on the tree roots in recognition and to recognize the sacred life growing force, as well as to remember our ancient homelands and our connection to our brothers and sisters of the Eastern Band. All those attending the inaugural ceremonies were given a pine tree sapling to take home with them. Today, as a symbol of continued renewal, a pine tree sapling is being given to those attending the 2003 inaugural ceremonies. We ask that you plant it, that you nurture it, and that you care for its growth. I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce Speaker of the House of Representatives, Larry Adair. Larry, good to see you, my friend. Gohusti Adadani, my cousin. Right? Galvine? Okay. I always have to check with my teachers over here. Oftentimes they tell me when I am brave enough to speak Cherokee in public, they say, we almost understand what you say. But if our language is to live, we must use it. Even though some of us do so at about the third grade level. I've been asked today to deliver a charge to our elected officials. A charge from the Cherokee people. And so I draw you close at this time to share my thoughts with our elected and with all Cherokees. Sagu Ido Tasta, we are building one fire. We've come together today as Cherokees to build one fire. It's more than some vestige of a past tradition. It is a charge not only for our leadership, who will take a solemn oath of service to our people. It is a charge and solemn responsibility for all Cherokees. Ownership of the nation's future is no longer singularly the domain of the elected. We must, if we are to sustain our culture, our language, our government, and our sovereignty, share the responsibility of survival as a nation with all citizens. To dwell on the past means to forfeit the present. To dwell on the future means to forget where we are and from where we have come. This inaugural moment in our nation's history should serve as a point of reference for the Cherokee people. Recognition of the past and speculation about the future serves important purposes. We've gathered our historical capital on these sacred grounds to endow our leaders. However, today's proceedings must be more than ceremonial. Sometimes we look for a point of reference in our lives, and so we seek a point of reference for our nation as well. Today has the potential of durability to serve as that reference point. The inextricable link between our past and our future has converged on this moment in the universal and sacred circles of the Cherokee people. The cleansing ceremony conducted this morning, the oaths that will be taken by our chiefs and council, the pledges that will be made in service of our people must be more than words. They must be actionable, accountable, and resolute. As Cherokees, we have a rich and vibrant history. Embedded in that history are many lessons to apply. Lessons that have been forged in pain and in peace. Yet the question resounds, have we learned? Have we learned from our history? Are our cultural teachings simply life ways to preserve, or are they rooted in timeless values to be lived today? We speak of caring for our elders, safeguarding our children, empowerment through education, stewardship of the earth, and amity and unity among our citizens. Today is a moment in our sacred circle that all of us, citizens and tribal leaders alike, must embrace. But the values will only be attained. They will only be actuated when we remember and embrace our Cherokee traditions. Just a reminder, traditional Native Americans in early years focus on the tribe, the nation first, the clan, the family second, and the individual third. Those who would invert this hierarchy of service have lost sight of the traditional priorities and of our common good. As Cherokees, we have vivid examples, past and present, of the chaos that prevails when this balance is inverted. The greater good of the Cherokee Nation must be at the fore, or we will perish as a people. If we speak of unity and practice factionalism, we will perish as a people. if we speak of consensus and practice dissension, we will perish as a people. If we invite federal incursion over our courts, laws, and leadership, we will perish as a people. If we desire true sovereignty and self-determination as a nation, we must rely upon our own rule of law and our own better judgment. In many ways, the future of the Cherokee Nation is within our collective power to nurture or to destroy. The choice is within us. In 1999, I was charged with the chairmanship of our nation's Constitutional Convention. That Constitutional Convention was mandated by a vote of the people in the general election of 1995, as set out in the provisions of Article 15, Section 9 of the 1976 Constitution. Our recent constitutional reform effort was contemplated by the forward-thinking framers of the 1976 Constitution. They foresaw that the needs, structure, and challenges of the Cherokee Nation in the 21st century would be far different than those issues which were at hand over 20 years ago. Just as it was in 1827, 1839, 1975, and 1999, the Constitutional Convention is the process of a sovereign people to listen, to discuss and debate, to respect dissenting opinion, and to build consensus for the common good. The 79 delegates who came to Tahlequah in February of 1999 to take up the people's work of drafting an organic document embraced the best of all Cherokee traditions. There was strong debate, there were dissenting opinions, but at the end of the day, just as it was in the Cherokee council houses of 500 years ago, there was no adjournment until consensus was reached and each delegate committed to respect the will of the assembly. That Constitution has been proclaimed by a vote of the people as the law of the land and is now a part of our legacy of written constitutions dating back to 1827. And while history will judge the convention's work, today we can endorse the convention's process, seeking and listening to the opinions of our people, examining all sides of the issues at hand, engaging in strong debate, and building consensus for the common good are more than useful tools of deliberation or rules of decorum. They are timeless and invaluable traditions of the Cherokee people. Today as Cherokee, we would charge our chiefs and our council with unwavering commitment to these principles and ideals. We must revive our view of the Cherokee Nation as one people. We have vivid scars to remind us that when we divide our house, we are weakened in our resolve. We need only to remember our own history to see the outcome of continued division. If the Indian removal policies of the federal government in the 1820s and 1830s were not destructive enough, the divisions between the Treaty Party, Ross Party, and Old Settlers in the 1830s took us to the brink of self-annihilation. And in this era of our nation's history, we cannot allow political mongering and personal agenda to serve as a modern shadow of the blood law or clan feuds of our past. We must be one people. We must build into our life an appreciation for who we are collectively. When we build distinctions between full blood and mixed blood, when we express that Cherokees in Texas, California, or Kansas are less informed and therefore less Cherokee than those citizens who live within our historic boundaries, then we are placing our nation's future at risk. While it is true the needs of our people differ, our degree of Cherokee-ness is identical. We only weaken our nation when we attempt to draw distinctions based solely upon geography and blood quantum. Being Cherokee does not make us noble, nor does it make us victims. A delegate to the 99 Constitutional Convention perhaps said it best during a convention debate on blood quantum. He said, "I do not choose to be Cherokee. I am Cherokee." History tells us that when a culture becomes elective, it may well perish. Today, we charge our chiefs and our council to lead us as one people. Bind us as citizens of a nation with more than programs of housing, health, and education. Bind us through common blood without distinction of degree. Bind us through involvement in our government, and bind us through the enrichment and practice of our traditional values. What is the charge of the Cherokee people upon their chiefs and councils? Today we ask simply that you safeguard the nation's sovereignty, seek balance and harmony within our government through our Constitution, our laws, our courts, our councils, and our free elections. Today, we ask that you keep our tribal traditions of examining dissenting opinions through respectful and constructive debate, and embracing consensus for the greater good of the Cherokee people. We ask that you eradicate the divisiveness of political avarice. We ask that you bind our people together as Cherokee citizens without distinction, neither by where they live nor by their degree of blood. Remind us that we are all Cherokees, and that only by living our cultural values, respecting traditional ways, and keeping the sacredness of this way of life, all of these things will keep us so. Do not dim nor diminish the people's voice in our councils. Build an inclusive government and engage us to participate in the governing of our nation so that our future may be strong and resilient. We would remind you, as our elected leaders, that today you will take the solemn and sacred oath that has been spoken on these very grounds for over 150 years by Cherokee leaders before you. There is an immutable voice from our past, and it speaks clearly to us today through these ceremonies. Much more than authority to lead is granted by your people here today. You are entrusted with the responsibility to serve. Today, all Cherokees look to the four directions: the north, the south, the west, the east, the upper world and the lower world, and the sacred fire that is at the center of our circle. To our chiefs, to our council, we, the Cherokee people, ask you to keep safe our universal circle and to foster a coming together of our past, our present, and our future. Keep our fire. Lift us up with an indomitable spirit that will keep us Cherokee. Well, thank you. The Cherokee National Youth Choir, ladies and gentlemen, singing Orphan Girl.
Una
I do want to take this opportunity as we applaud the beautiful voices of our National Children's Choir to introduce their director, Jan Ballou, who is from the Kenwood community. Jan, thank you so much for your service to our youth. At this time, the oath will be administered to the members of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council. As I call your name, counselors, please rise to the podium today. And to administer the oath to our Tribal Council today is Justice of the Judicial Appeals Tribunal, Justice Stacy Leeds. From the Cherokee District, District 1, Bill John Baker. Also of District 1, from the Cherokee District, Agra Smoke Connor. District 2, the Trail of Tears District, Joe Crittenden. Jackie Bob Martin. From the Sequoia District, District 3, David Thornton. Phyllis Yargi. From the Three Rivers District, District 4, Don Garvin. District 5, the Delaware District, Linda O'Leary. Also from the Delaware District, Nelana Shot Pouch. From District 6, the Mays District, Meredith Fraley. Also of District 6, Johnny Keener. District 7, the Rogers District, Tara Cowan. District 8, Oologah, Buell Allen, Anglin, and William Bill Johnson. And from District 9 in Craig, Charles Chuck Hoskin. Justice, administer the oath.
Each of the tribal council members have brought a loved one on stage with them this morning to hold the Bible that they will take the oath on. At this time, I would ask that you all please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation and the United States of America. I swear or affirm further that I will do everything within my power to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions of the Cherokee Nation.
Roses are being presented to our tribal council today by Miss Cherokee, Kristen Smith-Snell, and assisted by Junior Miss Cherokee, Renee Meeks. Be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to stick around after Inauguration Ceremonies with a group photograph. Okay? If you're missing in action, the Cherokee Marshals will be sent out to the But the audience didn't hear that. It's all right. Oh, no.
Jay?
Yes, sir. Wouldn't want a counselor to have to bend over this arm. Okay, thank you, counsel. Please return to your seats.
Tribal Council of the Cherokee Nation, ladies and gentlemen.
You're doing good, Tyler.
I call upon Justice Darrell Matlock to step forward to administer the oath to Deputy Principal Chief Joe Grayson, Jr.
If you would repeat after me, I, and state your name,
I, Joe Grayson, Jr.,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Cherokee Nation Deputy Principal Chief
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the Cherokee Nation Deputy Chief
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect,
and defend the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
I swear or affirm further
I swear or affirm further
that I will do everything within my power
that I will do everything within my power
to promote the culture,
to promote the culture,
heritage,
heritage,
and traditions
and tradition
of the Cherokee
of
Nation.
the Cherokee Nation.
Thank you, sir.
I call upon Chief Justice Darrell Dowdy to step forward to deliver and administer the oath to Principal Chief Chad Corntassel Smith.
Step up a little bit. Raise your hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Chadwick Corntassel Smith,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the Cherokee Nation Principal Chief
of the Cherokee Nation Principal Chief,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation
the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
I swear or affirm further
I swear or affirm further
that I will do everything within my power
that I will do everything within my power
to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions
to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions
of the Cherokee Nation.
of the Cherokee Nation.
Congratulations, Chief Smith.
I would take this opportunity to introduce other very special dignitaries that are here today. Representative Jim Wilson from here in Tahlequah is with us today. Jim, thank you for joining us. Longtime friend to the Cherokee people and of all Native citizens, Senator Enoch Kelly-Haney. And Mayor Jerry Cook, I saw earlier here. There, Mayor Cook, good to see you, my friend. Our elected officials have taken their oath and they have made their pledge, and now we will hear their words of service to the Cherokee people. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the commitment address, the Deputy Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation, Joe Grayson, Jr.
Fellow Cherokees, family and friends, it is an honor to address you today as the Deputy Chief of the Cherokee Nation. I want to share my respect today for those who have gone before and those whose guidance and hard work gave us strong spiritualism and provided a model of service for the Cherokees. Like many of you, I came to the Capitol Square as a young child. The image of this place has stayed with me through all my life. It symbolized stability, strength, and endurance. A place we could count on to remain an anchor. And like many of you, I came here with my family during special events, and I would wander down to the town branch and play in the water. When I fought in the jungles of Southeast Asia, this place stayed with me. I carried an image of the capital with me through all my life. When I was asked where I was from, I knew I was from this place. This place is a part of me, as it is a part of you. I remember seeing these buildings and knowing what they represent. I have visited with old friends when they came home for the holiday and discussed issues of government on these grounds. And like leaders of the past, this site endures. Like our leaders of the past, these grounds and buildings stand as they should, watching over the Cherokees, stately and noble, proud and an aged witness, and a symbol of our sovereignty and of our greatness. My first pledge to you today is that I will ensure that this place and all our historic areas are cared for and protected. I pledge that I will work. Thank you. I pledge that I will work to keep our language alive and that our true history is taught and shared with others. In addition to these commitments, I'm about to make you some promises, and I expect you to hold me to them. First off, I promise to keep regular office hours and be a full-time working deputy chief. I promise I will listen to all sides of an issue, be receptive and respectful to others, and be respectful to opinions that differ from mine. And I will look for ways and solutions that will bring us together and unite us for the future. I promise to work for a calm, responsible government. I promise to exert my influence on behalf of Cherokee preference at all levels. I promise to pay special attention to job creation, expansion of our health care, educational opportunities, employment, and housing benefits. I promise to back our business enterprises as they strive to increase profits and financial security in a changing economic environment. I promise I will gladly be part of a team. I will come to my own conclusions and stand strongly for everything that I believe is best for the Cherokee people. I promise to make regular district visits, to be a deputy chief for all the Cherokee Nation and all its people. I promise I will always remember my obligations to you as your representative. To Principal Chief Chad Smith, I say I am proud and eager to work with you, sir. To the council members, I offer my energy and my goodwill. My family is here today, and we extend our best wishes to the Principal Chief and to the council. And to your families, all of you, as we take our position as leaders of the Cherokee Nation. As a new group of leaders, we take our place today. Let all of us remember those in our families that came here over the Trail of Tears. Let us remember that and not ever let it happen again. Remember those that struggled to establish a new Cherokee Nation and hold it together during the Civil War, and those who faced statehood when our government was fading. They kept strong. They kept the virtues and the fortitude and kept the convictions that our tribe would endure, adapt, and prosper. Today we should face the memories of those we have only read about and heard about. Remember them for our success and our happiness today. In memory of our ancient warriors and to our veterans who protected the nation, we will not let them down. We will show courage, lead the Cherokee Nation forward in strength, in dignity, and power. May the Great Spirit continue to bless each and every one of you and our beloved Cherokee Nation. Good on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the words of commitment of our principal chief, Chad Corntassel Smith.
I'd like to express in behalf of all of us our thanks to Jay Hanna today. To Denny Smith and the other participants on our program, to our facility workers and our organizers of this event, and especially to the Creator for such a beautiful morning. Wadon. I'd like to acknowledge especially and thank so much, of course, my wife, Bobby Gale, my mother, Pauline Smith, and my children in attendance. Today, I'm in a bit of awe. We have had great men and women, great speakers, great messages, all for a great nation. I thank you for re-electing me as your principal chief. It's my humble honor to serve the Cherokee Nation and the people for another 4 years. Let me share with you my commitment for the next 4 years and my observation of the critical issues before the Cherokee Nation. We must pass on the great Cherokee legacy by practicing God-do-gi, good government, and self-determination. 4 years ago, Benny Smith at this very courthouse admonished me to be a student of the Cherokee people. I have diligently done that. He also instructed us to build one fire. To build one fire is the image of God-do-gi, to come together and work for the benefit of our families, communities, and nation. That one fire came across the Trail of Tears, and in many ways it still burns today. I began to reflect and speak of a Cherokee legacy that we have been entrusted. A legacy is a gift from our ancestors. Our legacy is that we're a people who face adversity, survive, adapt, prosper, and excel. That legacy was carried across the Trail of Tears with people like Nancy Hogtoter, who led a cow all the way from the old country at the age of 13. It was evident again in the 1890s when W.A. Duncan, the Cherokee Advocate newspaper editor, argued against allotment. And again, when many of our grandparents left Oklahoma looking for work during the Depression on U.S. 66, the Grapes of Wrath, our second Trail of Tears. Today, the most visual symbol of this legacy is this courthouse. The decision to accept this legacy and its responsibility is not difficult. What greater honor, what greater opportunity can we have than to provide something meaningful and enriching to our children and our grandchildren? The difficulty is remembering our commitment to this decision, applying it to daily tasks, and constantly striving to fulfill this legacy. This administration, this council, and this court must make the decision today to do everything within our power to carry this legacy forward. And every day we must renew that commitment. There are very real attributes and actions we must exhibit and execute as public officials as we carry forward this legacy. When we, as elected officials, take our oath of office, we bind ourselves to this decision. Our oath, which we have taken today, states that we will do everything within our power to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions of the Cherokee Nation. Gadugi is our culture, our heritage, and our tradition. One prime historical example of a Gadugi is set in the middle of the Depression. Community members in Line Switch in Adair County came together to build a community building. The community had no money, but everyone chipped in and did what they could. Some planned, some cut logs, some cut shingles, others laid the foundation. People that couldn't help on construction worked in other ways, by cooking and bringing water from the well. Today you can see that same spirit of the Gadugi in our communities, like Bell, Greasy, Dry Creek, South Coffeyville, Four Corners, Rocky Ford, Chewy, and Marble City as they build again their community buildings, as they were done 70 years ago. As your elected officials, we swear an oath to practice Gadugi. We must back up that oath with action. We must set an example of Gadugi so that all Cherokees will see how we can carry out our greatest duty. The vocabulary we use frames how we think and act. We should introduce, understand, and use certain words and share certain meanings that by definition creates progress, resolution, and forward movement. We should not use certain words in our conversations that will destroy and hurt our relationships with each other and the nation. At times in the last 4 years I would hear that the council was mad. But usually this was not true because the attitudes of few were attributed to the entire council, and the entire council did not share that sentiment. But by saying that the council was mad or that the chief was mad, it defined an adversarial relationship built upon emotion. We should define ourselves as statesmen and stateswomen who see the relationships between the administration, the council, the courts, and our people as cooperative, mutually beneficial, and positive. And that these relationships are based upon reason, deliberation, and respect, not personalities, emotions, or personal aspirations. If we use divisive words, we become divided. If we use words of unity and mean them, we become whole. We should eliminate the process and practice of pork barreling, which in the modern sense is a process of political representatives taking bacon or benefits back to their constituents. We should do what is best for the Cherokee Nation in the long run, allocate our scarce resources and programs based upon strategy and logic. to help the greatest number of Cherokees to help themselves. Otherwise, we divide and weaken our people and government. The Cherokee people have a right to expect certain behavior from their elected officials. They expect us to behave as statesmen and stateswomen. We should deliberate and be diplomatic in our words. In the past, I've seen our elected officials publicly belittle our employees and citizens. We must not permit that destructive behavior. The Cherokee people expect us to make decisions on the merit of each proposal, not on the person who proposed the measure. We have a challenge as a government. Joining me today are 8 new council members and a new deputy principal chief. Our elected officials can set new, higher standards for public service and leadership. John F. Kennedy once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask for what you can do for your country." Too often I've heard our people say, "Well, the Cherokee Nation hasn't done anything for me." That is a symptom of a malady, a sickness, an unhealthy mindset. This mindset cripples the driving value of God's Ogi, a value and concept that has kept us going for centuries. And we must erase that debilitating, crippling mindset and create a new one that says, using the tools available to me, I can improve the quality of life for me, my family, my community, and my nation. Quality of life does not depend upon programs such as subsidized housing, education, health services, and social services. These are merely tools. Quality of life means taking those tools and using them to make wise choices, to earn a better living, and to come back and contribute to our people, our community, and our nation. At Rocky Ford, I visited with an older man whose modest home was repaired by the Cherokee Nation and volunteers. I asked him why he had not applied earlier for help. He said, "I thought there were others who needed it more." We seldom hear that nowadays. In fact, what we often hear is people asking, "How come I can't get what my neighbor got?" It is time we ask not what the Cherokee Nation can do for us. We must ask, what can we do for our nation? What can we do for our families and communities that make up our nation? What can we do for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, although yet unborn? More than 100 years ago, the Cherokee spirit of Gadugi was apparent even to the people who wanted to destroy us. U.S. Senator Dawes, whose goal was to abolish the 5 tribes, once said about the Cherokee Nation, "There was not a family in the whole nation that owned not its own home. There was not a pauper in the nation. And the nation did not owe a dollar. It built its own capital and built its own schools and hospitals. Yet," he said, "the defect of the system was apparent. They have gotten as far as they can go because they own their land in common. There is no selfishness, which is at the bottom of civilization." Senator Dawes is wrong in many accounts, but he was right on one thing. True Cherokee values do not include greed. We should not want something for nothing. The federal government has tried to break the Cherokee spirit and has failed. Where they have succeeded, though, is a gradual breakdown of our value system. Greed, the love of money, and wanting something for nothing are all the same. Each one breaks down the true Cherokee spirit. Instead, each of us must adopt a single principle, a cultural, historic principle. In the Cherokee language, this is Gadugi. Come together and work for the benefit of the community. In closing, the future of the Cherokee Nation has never looked brighter. I'm looking forward to building a strong, productive relationship with our council and doing more good work for our fellow Cherokee citizens in our nation this coming term. But each of us has a challenge. This challenge, our most sacred challenge, and for us as elected officials, our most sacred duty, is to pass on this great Cherokee legacy. to make wise decisions, to advance the progress of the Cherokee Nation, and to encourage each of our citizens to earn a quality of life for themselves, their families, communities, and nation. Of course, we must build one fire. It is the difference between life and death as a people and as a nation. The Cherokee people deserve no less. And because they elected us as their leaders, we are their voice. This is a decision that only we can make. And this is work that only we can do. We as a Cherokee people. History and our children will judge us on the decisions we make and the actions we take these next 4 years. Thank you for being here on this great, beautiful morning. Wado.
Symbolically, this was a symbol of authority for whoever was in possession of this. But it goes beyond that. In this passing of this eagle feather fan, I want to resort to an authentic way of passing it on. And you will need to just bear with me if you cannot understand some of the language. Uji Zapin. Uguya needs a leg. Their heart in there. We got to walk and do turn. Floyd, star with east. You are to reflect the very highest, the one who stays up on high. Skina. Iski anesana. Ale easy nuka. Ale easy gaspog. Veggie scolio. You win. Daniel Stalavatiso. Elo skiate dotlan. Sku utfloy dat in de hest. Ozikuyo. Uwater. I stand no. Hey Wo hale. Suki dahanga. Uga do waga. Are you the land, huh? As it is, No water. Ugasi Syria. Ugasi Siska. The new water. We go here. Use a nig. They have to need to hast. And they use a little yes. And they come. Let's go on here. So go who's you dollar. You ski use a naked. You ski to you. You ski. You don't know the Lord. You ski. God's a nost. You ski you water. Ha is thirsty.
But our councils and our chiefs invested with their authority and their pledges of service to the Cherokee people Principal Chief Chad Smith invites Deputy Principal Chief Joe Grayson, Tribal Council members, the Justices of the Judicial Appeals Tribunal, former Principal Chiefs, and leadership to join him in placing cedar in the special cedar fire symbolizing Gadugi, and a mutual commitment to continue working together to build one fire on behalf of and for the benefit of all fellow Cherokees. The Cherokee National Youth Choir will now sing One Drop of Blood in the Cherokee language. Please join. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize other special guests that are here with us today. Representative Bud Smithson from Sequoyah County is here today. Thank you, Bud, for joining us. District Attorney Richard Gray has joined us here today as well. Richard, thank you for being with us. David Fitzgerald, if you'll make your way over there. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. At this time, we would call upon John Ketcher to deliver the closing invocation of our ceremonies. John.
I am one of those Cherokees that learned his Cherokee language from his grandparents and the family. In fact, it was my first language. English is even though fractured, is my second language. I appreciate this opportunity to close out the proceedings today. What a wonderful day it is. Even the sun's coming out. Just as I can see, you can appreciate that. It probably is. I'm not official anymore, so this is my first unofficial assignment to the Cherokee Nation. I'm going to try to do a prayer, part of it in Cherokee, because, as I said, this was my first language. But through the years and with the lack of use, I have forgotten some of the words, or I need help with them again to relearn them. Once I hear them, I can do it again. It's kind of like typewriting. You can go back to it and learn it again. So at this time, bear with me. May we bow our heads. O ye daughter, Helena de Hang. That ye relege kohegi yes. Who were to ege yes. On Toteto. On itigo tinustana. On an intellectun su yes. On tinila wig lola. A gael an lehusk. He an itar. He in the garden. Osti. Ita he says the garden. He still is get to when they go healing. He to Nilo Stane, Hutty Nila Wiggy. Ole he to go with you. Ole Talek. Katogisku. He still is get. Sinagesa, who were to ye heli. No, get an ella on go he. He still is get to go he line. See you utan, Ostene, Saleki, Undaska, ye got stunning. Go in her. Anna, that's it, no. Ani sky, ani ke hile, wika natli. Who negative the gastani. They still is cast with the gato, they still. O great Spirit, we give you thanks for this beautiful day. A day of celebration in which we have witnessed the will of the Cherokee people in selecting and endorsing the leadership of our nation for the next 4 years. We ask for your blessings for the coming term. May the direction in which they will lead us be pleasing in the eyes of the Almighty. And as they decide and continue to help us and improve the living conditions of those families and individuals to a better life. But also keep in mind to continue to encourage our people to help themselves by taking advantage of progress that are designed to make them self-sufficient. O Great Spirit, if this be your will, may this day be a dedication of commitment of all Cherokees to go forth this day and put away any and all negative feelings and thoughts of the recent election and come together for the better and progressive Cherokee nation. The people have spoken. As we depart from this place, continue to watch over us as we seek guidance and patience in all that we do. Be with our national leaders as they work to bring peace around the world. Be with our service men and women, for they are in far places in danger in many parts of the world. Continue to bless the Cherokee nation, and God bless America. Amen.
Thank you, Chief Etcher. Thank you for your years of service, for your golden heart, and for your golden words here today. Will the Cherokee Nation Color Guard retire the colors?
Hey, great, Dan, hum. Order, hum. Ready, break cover. Left, hey, forward, hum.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come today as Cherokee from across this nation and from many lands. We've come together with one heart and with one voice. Let us look to the future with that voice and heart of Cherokee's past and present and future. As we close these ceremonies, we thank all of you for attending today. Our chiefs and our council will assemble in front of our historic capitol for photographs. You'll have an opportunity to meet with them, to enjoy refreshments here on our capitol grounds. All guests are invited to sign the inaugural Citizens Book and to take home a special commemorative medallion created by the Cherokee Heritage Pottery Artisans. We ask you to take with you a pine sapling that you'll see on the south edge of our square today. Take it home and plant it and nourishment, as so shall we, the Cherokee Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, these proceedings are closed.